Hello everyone, I am Shubhrika and you're watching SJLive. Yes, thank you so much for all the love you have given me, and I'm very sure you are enjoying all the additions which we are bringing to you. We are definitely going to bring you all the personalities whom you have referred to, all the topics we are trying to cover, and we'll cover them as soon as possible, which you have suggested us. Like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel, Shubhrika Johary. My Facebook page is Shubhrika, and the segment is SJ Live. Today again, we're talking about on a topic which is very much related to COVID-19. In fact, other than COVID-19, also so many people are talking about mental health these days. We have a special speaker today with us. She is Binny Brahmbhatt. Welcome to the show, Binny.
Hi, Shubhrika. Thank you so much. Such an honor to be on this show. Thank you.
Binny, I have been following you for quite long. You have been talking about teenage motivation and teenage stress management and mental health and so many other issues. For all our viewers, let me introduce Binny. Binny is the founder and architect of the Empower Teenage program designed for middle years and high school students. She is a social entrepreneur. Her goal is to make an impact while making an income. Empower Teens program was created with a vision to provide a proactive solution to the growing epidemic of teenage stress and its related mental health issues. The program safeguards every teen under an umbrella of mental health resilience. She was a part of global
Absolutely.
speakers lineup at 14th annual speaker convention held at Johannesburg, South Africa by PSASA, that is Professional Speaking Association of Southern Africa, and she spoke on fueling future leaders amidst global professional speakers. Okay, so Binny, let's talk about mental health. I know we Asians are actually very much shy about talking on this topic, but now people are talking about it. It's being talked at that level that even if I don't have an issue, I'll feel that maybe in somewhere in my mind I have some problem going on and I should go and see somebody who is a professional in that field.
See, I'll give you a very simple example. Okay. First of all, you remember when we were growing up,
Hmm.
um, dentist was not an in thing those days.
I know.
But
But
when
we
we
didn't have it
saw our
technically.
parents struggle with, yeah, but when we saw our parents struggle, once they went into their 60s and 70s, suddenly each of us has a dentist, as a family dentist, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's just about the awareness. It's just about the awareness. And trust me, 10 years from now, each of us will have a therapist. Every family will have a therapist. And I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
When was the last time, Shubhrika, as a person, you could share exactly what you're feeling about someone, without worrying about validation or without worrying about being judged?
I know. These days it's a tough thing.
It is a tough thing. In
Yeah.
fact, most of our innermost feelings and thoughts, it's also difficult to share with our husband or our partners or our parents or our children. Now, one can say that it was even lacking during our parents' time and times before that. Absolutely. But they were not thrown into this whole digital connectivity world, right? We today are, there's so much of screen in our lives, whether it's TV, whether it's phone, whether it's anything, and everything starts with screen.
One more thing, Binny. The world has become much more comfortable than ever. But in spite of that, today mental problems are much more than ever. Why is it so?
To be honest, I think, on the contrary, uh, we are more comfortable being on a virtual space than to even have real connections.
Hmm.
Okay, earlier, if you see, and I'll keep coming back to old times where things were simple. Okay, there was still no Facebook, there was still no social media going on, so we used to have real connections. We used to still pick up a call, we would still walk
Maybe
into
we
a
were
friend's
living
house
for ourselves rather
unannounced.
than living for the society, isn't it?
Exactly. Today there is so much of the social media validation that's been thrown on us. So there's a constant, and as people from the psychology perspective, we are used. It's called self-determination theory, where we are used to looking at someone, and then comparing ourselves. That energy is sucking us, and I think to me that's fundamental here.
How do you define mental health?
So um, mental health is in most simple, how are you feeling within? Okay, if I'm making sense, when was the last time you actually checked with yourself, how am I feeling? Okay,
True.
yeah, we look good. Yeah, I'm smiling out there. Yes, I look good on my social media, but am I really feeling good within? Can I say that 8 out of 10 times I am in that happy spirit, feeling wise, not looking wise, right? That is mental health. If each of us can knock on our inner doors and understand that, why am I so angry with my child or with my husband or with my friend? Where is this anger? Is it a misplaced anger? Is it some trauma I'm holding?
And what should be done to avoid this kind of mental health or stress in these days?
Look, stress to an extent is very good. Okay, stress is something that pushes us, which gives us that, that inner spirit to fight harder. So until that time, it's good. Stress accumulates somewhere into your system. Okay, if you don't let it out, if you don't talk about it, if you don't share it out in a right way, or even have a good cry. Even for men, I think, not only for women, even for men, we are not okay. How many dads can actually say to their sons that it's okay to cry, or let's just cry, it's okay? It's showing your vulnerability. It's okay to having a bad day. It's okay to failing once in a while. It's okay to failing 100 times, because only after failing can we actually achieve that winning
Or
moment
even if
or
you don't
success,
achieve, I think you're always on a
right?
positive side, because when you came to this earth, you didn't have anything.
So the more we talk about it, the more we show our emotions, or even if we journal, or even, of course, meditation is number one, because with meditation comes, with self-awareness, you get to know yourself better, and from that place you start feeling good. If you start feeling good, you share that shine outward, right? But if you're feeling angry most of the time, you will throw that anger and frustration out to the outside world.
How can we contribute to mental health, good, healthy minds around us? How can we create that kind of
So
environment so that everybody can be happy or at least satisfied?
walk your talk, right? Be honest with your children, be honest with your spouse, be honest with your friend. Okay, the things I would tell women, especially women, is it's not to multitask. Okay, you do not have to be a superwoman. Yeah, you
Yeah,
really don't have to carry that burden
I
on you. You don't
know.
have to be good in kitchen and good in your business and the best mother. No, we don't need all that. We just need to be good at what we believe makes us happy, right? So we have to fundamentally go take 10 steps back and ask yourself, makes me happy? and and do that. And it's okay to say no. And for men, I have this message, which is, list down your top 5 priorities. Very rarely I see people saying my top 5 priority number 1 is myself, right? So first of all, look at what are your top 5 priorities. Do you feature anywhere in that top 5 priorities? How many people today, Shubhrika, know that teens are more stressed than adults?
Yes.
If you look at the
We need to
statistics.
understand this. Yes.
Yeah,
If
so
it is,
where so and I sometimes get parents who tell me, how can they be stressed? We are the ones providing, we are the ones paying the school fees,
people
we
feel
are the
that,
ones. So
yes.
what are they stressed about?
Obviously, they feel that we are doing everything for them. Why do they have to get stressed? They just need to perform. They just need to take care of themselves.
Understanding teenagers, connecting with them, engaging with them is what I do for a living. And what I listen from them is that they are frustrated with the toxic expectations by the society, by the educational institute, by parents. Okay, there's overwhelming toxic expectations of getting it right and winning. Okay, number 2 is the social comparisons.
Hmm.
They are
Yes.
constantly compared to somebody's kid. Somebody's better than them, somebody got better marks, and that every time you're comparing anyone for that, your child, but every time that you're comparing someone, you are giving a message that you're not good enough. And that does not feel good. So there is number one, that is toxic expectations. Number two is comparisons. And number three is judgments. They are constantly judged for who they are. Either their hair is too long, or they are always on phone, or they don't have time for adults, or they don't have an eye contact, or they are not out there shining. There's always judgments.
True, very true. Okay, so Binny, as far as COVID-19 is concerned, everybody is stressed. Teens, they are actually very much stressed, thinking that what is going to happen to their schooling, how they are going to make their career. Few kids who had expected that they'll just finish off their exams and they'll get to some good company, they are not able to do that because of these circumstances. So stress is on its peak in these times. What do you think? How is the world dealing with COVID situation as far as mental health is concerned?
I think it is one of the most scariest of time, mental health. One of the most scariest of time. Because without COVID-19, okay, things like anxiety and depression and panic attacks weren't given its due importance. Okay. I've seen children talk about being depressed. I've seen children talk about panic attacks. And let me tell you, 1 out of 4 teenagers, 1 out of 4 teenagers are either dealing with panic attacks or anxiety attacks or self-harming. This is without COVID. So you can only imagine during COVID, you have taken away all the fun stuff from them. You've taken away meeting their friends. You've taken away going to school, looking good, having that, social vibration everywhere. And all they are now confined to is this virtual.
But these situations cannot, we cannot change circumstances. But what we can do is we can change our state of mind. What should we do about that?
So what we can, number one, do is cut down on anything that is scaring you. Cut down on those friends which are spreading that rumors. Cut down from that kind of friendships or that kind of input. That input could be news. That input could be social media. That input could be a group of friends. So cut down on that. Number two is set a timetable. This is the time we now design a new routine which makes sense in the times that we are in. Okay, it has to start with exercise, because again, exercise releases those happy hormones. It's one of the most important thing in these times, right? And I have written this in one of my articles, but I will use it again over here. It's called dose. Okay, so it's simple. Dose is dopamine. These are the 4 happy hormones. Okay, so dopamine is released when there is an anticipation to something. All right. So if you're expecting some good news, dopamine is released, right? It could be a friendly phone call. It could be going for a walk in Karura Forest, something that makes you look forward to that day, right? So that's how dopamine is released. So you're taking care of that aspect, which is a happy hormone. Then there is oxytocin. Oxytocin is another happy hormone, which is released when you get when you hug people, when you cuddle with your children. Okay, that's the happy hormone, right? So it could be a family ritual of playing games every evening. It could be a board game, right? It could be a family movie marathon. So that releases your oxytocin. Okay. Then serotonin is the hormone which is your mood regulator. So when you're really hungry and you get angry, that concept comes from serotonin. Okay, and when you really eaten well and you feel happy, that is also serotonin. Okay, so eating a well balanced healthy meal at all times, your fruits, your juices, your herbal drinks, your simple roti sabzi, just simple meals at right times. Okay, that releases serotonin into your system, which is again a happy hormone. And the last but not the least, which is E, which is endorphins, is released through exercise. Okay, that's that adrenaline rush you get. So as long as you have a good balanced diet, a timetable, an exercise routine, lots of family fun times, I think you'd be sorted. That mindset to work towards creating a happy mindset for your life each and every day.
I seriously feel that you have already given me an answer to how you can manage your stress. I think these are the points, DOSE, which you said. We have actually forgotten to take care of all these things in our lives. What we are taking care about
Absolutely.
is where we have to go, what we have to achieve in life, but we are not taking care of these actual basic requirements, which are very much important for us.
There is something known as A's, which is fundamental for all of us, whether it's children or whether it's adults. Okay, attention, affection, and appreciation, right? So even if you were to take spouses for an example here, as long as you are giving enough attention, affection, and appreciation to your spouse, okay, you'll be minimal. You actually reduce that stress because you feel you're good enough. You feel happy when someone appreciates you. It could be a simple meal appreciation, right? The same thing with your children, same thing from children to parents. We all require a certain amount of validation. And so if we get enough of affection, attention, and appreciation from our loved ones, it would just make so much more easier. COVID times would be so much more easier. I like to highlight this in terms of, take for example, Sushant Singh Rajput, right?
Yes.
A lot of people may still wonder that he had everything going for him. He had millions of followers. But one of the things I would like to say this loud and clear is this is to do with some form of chemical imbalance in your brain, okay, which converts into depression, which gets you into a suicidal dark space. It's less to do with building mental resilience. No, that's good enough for people like you and me who can fight and change the mindset. But there are some people which is beyond them. Okay, it's like the same empathy that we show to someone who's suffering with cancer, right? You cannot just fight cancer with mindset. You need doctors. It's something which is off in your body, right? Same way, there is a chemical imbalance in your brain which creates these kind of hormones or these kind of imbalances where you get into a dark space to want to commit suicide. It's a real thing. It's depression is a real thing. It's a disease. So for anyone who's listening to this and feel that they or their loved ones or their friends have constantly been in a dark space for over 6 months, then bring it out. Talk to a therapist. Talk to someone who's a professional. Okay, don't keep quiet about it. You cannot just overnight keep saying that, oh, get strong and this shall pass. No, that's okay for the rest of the world
Talking
who's
doesn't
okay.
help in
But
these
for that
times.
percentage which are not okay, yeah, it doesn't. It's a serious disease. We need to look at it from clinical point of view.
Okay. I think we have covered almost every topic. So just we'll end up with one small advice from you. How can people be much more productive in these times? And how can they be much more happy in these times?
This is the best time to go inward. I know I keep saying this over and over again, but you will never get this kind of time where you're made to slow down. Connect to nature, connect to your family members, connect to your 911. Your 911 are people who you'll really call when it's dire consequences. Only make those important in these times. Exercise, eat well, sleep well, and meditate. As long as you're
Practically
doing
speaking,
these
yes, in
fundamental
these times
things.
we have understood what is important for us. And now, maybe in these times, people who are
Exactly.
stronger enough, who can understand themselves and the world around, will realize that these are the times which have made us understand that, yes, what is the real world, what is the fake world, what is important for you, what is not important for you. And hopefully, we continue doing the same
Absolutely.
things even after COVID-19 ends.
Absolutely. That should become a lifestyle. I think if it becomes a lifestyle, most of the mental health related issues would minimize.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much, Binny, for talking to us. And I really feel that after talking to you, I have understood that how teen mental health is also very important. And we always used to talk about the stress levels adults handle, and the
Yes.
adults have so many issues in their lives to take care, so that they are stressed, they can be mentally ill, but nobody talked about teen mental health up till now. Hopefully, we as parents understand that we need to give little less stress to our kids, and we need to stop expecting much also from ourselves also. We need to be happy with what we are, who we
Absolutely.
are. Yeah.
These things have been taught to us. We are conditioned to be that way. So we have to actually unlearn all of that and be okay with not being an overachiever. What we don't understand is, and I'm going to quote Deepak Chopra here, that what we don't understand is we have 50 trillion cells in our body. Okay. And these cells are constantly eavesdropping on our thoughts. So if we are constantly talking negative about us, our listening, our cells are interpreting that, okay, and that turns into an emotional trauma and gets stuck somewhere in our system, right? And if we are not kind, to ourselves, how can you expect that body to take care of you, right? Our body's job is not to look good.
What
It's not
can
at all to look good.
you get back?
Sometimes you look up to someone and say, oh my God, there's this aura about that person. It's not about fat or thin or big or small. It's about that spirit. It's the aura. Be very careful before you say or feel anything negative about your body. Your body is listening. You have to honor that body. That's I feel there are only two places we call home. One is the earth and one is your body. You need to honor these two places, right? You're going to live your entire life here.
Absolutely correct. Thank you so much, Binny, for giving us time. And what I can conclude is that we need to be happy, we need to be satisfied, we have to be full of gratitude, isn't it? If we take care of these things, I think the world will be
Absolutely.
sorted and our mental health will be sorted to a great extent. Yeah.
But Shubhrika, I am so glad you asked me to be here. I always consider this as an honor. So thank you so much, Shubhrika.
Thank you so much, Benny, for being here with us. And thank you so much, all of you. I'm very sure you must have listened to us till the end because the topic is so interesting and it is so much relatable to each of us in these times. Otherwise, also, that we need to understand, we need to be happy, we need to stop comparing ourselves with others, we need to be full of gratitude, we need to respect, more importantly. And these are the only ways to make ourselves better and happier and more beautiful in every way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shubhrika.
Thank you, Binny. Thank you so much for all the love you have given us. And I'm very sure that you must have been benefited out of this topic, which we discussed right now, which is mental health in these COVID-19 times. Together with that, teenage mental issues, which are much more important. And yes, share, like, subscribe to my channel, Shubhrika Johary. And my Facebook page is Shubhrika. And this segment is SJLive. Tada, bye bye. See ya.